Hi everyone, and thank you for coming back to see another video. I was tagged in the houseplant tag, I think it's a houseplant tag, I'm going to have to double check now, by Planting Memories. I've just realised at Planting Memories, I don't actually know your real name. I'm really sorry, I feel like that's really rude, but I can't find it anywhere. So, sorry, but thank you so much for tagging me. He said he wants to prompt me to upload more videos because I have been a bit slacking. Well, I've been slacking a lot lately. So thank you for that, and thank you so much for tagging me. I really appreciate it. There's 10 questions, they're all about plants, so I will just get into it. So the first one is, when did you first start getting into houseplants? I have it all on a notepad here, which is why I'm looking down. So yeah, when did you first start getting into houseplants? That's an interesting question for me. So I first started owning houseplants in 2016 when I moved into a new flat. My mum, well, this kind of covers off another question, but my mum bought me a plant, which I'll go into later. I always was kind of into them, but I didn't have any means of getting more into plants, and I wasn't really aware that there was more than what I had, so which I know sounds a bit stupid, really, but I think it was kind of like a hobby that was bumbling along as not very much of a hobby at the time. And then I think I periodically would buy other plants as I saw them that I thought were cool. So I think I ended up with about 10 plants in total that stuck with me for quite a while. And then I think I've alluded to this before, but in a particular period of my life, I think it was 2 years ago now, I was feeling extremely sort of depressed and anxious because I have OCD as well as depression, and I sort of discovered that caring for plants really took me out of myself, and trying to nurture them and look after something else other than myself kind of would somehow alleviate some of the anxiety and also make me not feel quite so intensely stuck in my depression kind of thing. So I mean, it's not a cure as much as nothing is really a cure for it, but it's all about managing your condition. Anyway, where was I on that? That kind of went off on a tangent. Yeah, so that's when I first started getting into houseplants, and then suddenly something kind of ignited, I think, and I couldn't kind of look back. Once I kind of delved into the world of houseplants, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't, what has been seen cannot be unseen, and the obsession took hold, which I'm sure is my tendency is probably something to do with my OCD nature, but yeah, I feel like having houseplant obsession is not a bad thing. So yeah, that was when I first started getting into houseplants. And oh yes, the other thing that escalated it was I had my tonsils removed, sort of mid to late. I think it was in the late summer of 2018, and the pain after that surgery is so intense, I cannot even express how bad that was. And I felt that the only thing that would help, I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything, I practically couldn't even concentrate on anything anyone was saying, but the one thing I could do was use my hands, and I really got into, basically I repotted the entire of my mum's plant collection, which is huge, and that whole plant care thing really ignited my passion for it, because that was a period of about 2 weeks where the only thing I could get my head around doing was dealing with plants, because I was in so much pain. So it sounds kind of negative, but positive for me, actually. It's very much a coping strategy, and a positive coping strategy, which is good. So what is your oldest houseplant? Number 2. So my oldest houseplant that I have personally had is a Dracaena, and I'm looking up because it's right here. I am going to insert a picture probably on my left, your right. Is it your right? I don't know. Anyway, so that was the houseplant that my mum bought when I was moving into a new flat, and that has stuck with me for so long. And I was so kind of not aware of the plant world that when I wanted to get another plant, I just got the same of that plant as a smaller one. So which is quite funny. So now I have two lovely dracaenas, but I feel like they are the perfect plant for anyone who doesn't know how to care for houseplants, because they are literally the most robust plant in the world. So yeah, you will see my gigantic dracaena in a picture. However, if we're talking about actual age of the plant, that would be a beautiful cactus I inherited from my great uncle, and I believe it is over 40 years old, maybe even over 50 years old. So I call it Sir David Attenborough because it's kind of slightly stooped and looks kind of old and wise. It's been a real struggle trying to identify it as well, but I'll put a picture in for that one as well. So yeah, that one's pretty damn cool to have in my collection actually. What was the first plant to really kickstart your collection? I would have to say that's a toss-up between my Monstera deliciosa and my Calathea, what's it called? Peacock. It's a struggle to find the right name for that Calathea, but anyway, I'll try and put a picture in so that you can see it. It has been struggling lately, unfortunately, so it's not quite the grand plant that it once was, but that one, those two for sure, once I got those, that was it, and I kind of couldn't look back on plants because those two were so outstandingly beautiful, and I had never really properly looked at plants until that point. What plants do you struggle to keep alive? Begonias. I don't know what it is with me and begonias. They just hate me. And sometimes they'll like me for a period of time and then they'll hate me again. My Begonia maculata whitei, for no reason at all, it was doing fantastic for so long, and then just suddenly the whole thing died. And I don't know why. Thankfully, I did put it in like a little propagation tent with a plastic bag over it. And I finally have 2 new leaves from it, but it just died for no reason. And every Begonia Rex I've ever owned has conked out completely, just gone. I don't know why. And I follow the care tips, I alter the care tips, I check the water, I check everything. Like, I never have cared so much about plants as begonias because they're so stressy. Anyway, they don't like me. What is the biggest mistake you've made with a plant? For sure, and it's a recent one. I experimented with semi-hydroponics with my spider plant because it was initially struggling with the root rot, and in my infinite wisdom I decided to cut off some of the roots, sort of the rotted roots, and it was initially in soil, and put it into semi-hydro, and it appears that the rot just spread, so I must not have cut the roots short enough. I don't really know, or maybe just water wasn't the right, well, leca wasn't the right medium to put it in, but unfortunately that is now struggling a lot, so I'm going to put it back in soil. So I think, yeah, that would probably be my biggest mistake so far, is putting a plant that's suffering with root rot into leca. I don't think that was a good idea. So, but if you know different, please tell me in the comments, because it's a whole new thing. Semi-hydroponics is like a very new thing for me. I don't really know what I'm doing. So I can only kind of find anecdotal advice. I haven't really found any solid evidence-based advice. So if anyone has any tips, that would be fantastic. 6, what was the most expensive plant you've ever bought, and is it still alive? Yes, it's still alive. It's not the happiest. I don't know if you can see it, but it is my Pachira aquatica up there. And it was a beautiful great big plant when I bought it for £30, so it wasn't like a lot. I mean, some people buy I see some people buying plants for like hundreds of pounds, and I just can't. I mean, I feel like if I knew exactly what I was doing, like if I was horticulturally trained, or if I had a botany qualification or something, and I had so much experience, I would potentially do that if I had the money to spare. But A, I don't have the money, and B, I'm terrified of killing something that costs so much money, and also for owning something that's potentially quite rare and then killing it, that doesn't feel good. That wouldn't feel good. From a what's the word, I suppose like an eco sustainability point of view. No, sustainability is the wrong word. From a conservation point of view, I wouldn't feel good about that. I mean, I know rare house plants tend not to be like actually rare plants unless they're being kind of thieved from the wild, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so yes, that was the most expensive plant I've ever bought. It is still alive, but it's not doing best because I don't have a very sunny household. Do you have a certain variety or genus you are drawn to? No, I don't. I love plants and I seem to love them all. I divide my time equally between my tropical plants and my cacti and succulents, but I still have a lot of time for palms, ferns, sansevierias, other types of bulb-based plants, and yeah, just everything. I love them all. Like, I don't seem to be drawn to any one particular plant. So yeah. 8, do you also garden outdoors? If so, edibles or flowers? I don't. I would love to, but I don't have an outdoors, so no. 9, what is the coolest plant in your collection? I did bring this one. I came prepared. It is without a doubt my Cephalotus follicularis, which is a little carnivorous plant. I don't know if that's going to focus. Let's see. I don't think it will focus, but carnivorous plants on the whole I just think are incredible, and I just think they are the coolest plant, like hands down. I mean, I love all plants, but there's something about these plants that have adapted a way of getting their nutrients from another type of organism, is just incredible. So yep, I will always forever be in awe of carnivorous plants, and this one particularly I love. I just think it's gorgeous. So yeah, it's dying back a bit at the moment because it's winter, so but hopefully it will be a bit better in the summer. What is the number 1 plant you want in your collection but haven't acquired yet? I think it would have to be the Philodendron melanochrysum, for the pure and simple reason that I saw it in Kew Gardens and it is just the most stunning plant I think I've ever seen. I don't think the one I would ever own would get that big, but I mean the leaves were like this big, so they were huge. So that would be incredible to own that. Yeah, that's for sure, like top of the wish list for me. I suppose also the Cissus discolor. They usually tend to be plants that I've seen in Kew Gardens and I'm just like, that is incredible. It's so cool. So yeah, those are my number 1 plants, I suppose. I'm not necessarily seeking getting them because they're going to be very expensive, and I'm scared that my flat is not sort of plant friendly for them, but those are the ones that I will ogle after forever. So yeah, that is everything for this tag. So I would like to tag, if they haven't done it already, I'm so sorry if you have. I've just been really bad at keeping up to date with everyone's YouTube lately and all things YouTube. So I would love to tag Keisha Adinkra and Firefly in the Room, Erika Lodes, or Erika Lodes, I'm not totally sure how you say your name, sorry Erika, and Ali's Plants. So let me know if you do do these videos, and I would love to watch them. Equally, I would like to extend that to anyone who hasn't done a houseplant tag video before. Do it and I tag you. So that would be great, and let me know if you do that. Thank you so much for watching. As always, hit the subscribe button if you like this video, and feel free to follow me on Instagram at besottedwiththepotted. Thanks for watching.